Hi, I'm Dr. Holliday with IndyDirect Docs. Whether you have gone back into the workplace or you're still working from home, I know plenty of people who are kind of wondering how to throw together a quick meal. A lot of people, unfortunately, when they think quick meal, think either highly processed foods or they run and they go to a fast food restaurant. However, I'm going to show you how you can keep 10 ingredients in your house, mix and match them, and come up with 5 different meals. So in this video, we're gonna do another meal. We're doing 1 meal per video. Let's talk about what our 10 different ingredients are. We have canned crushed tomatoes, canned coconut milk, canned tuna, shredded cheese, frozen edamame, frozen butternut squash noodles, frozen chicken that's already been cooked, frozen broccoli, frozen peppers and onions that have been mixed together, and then a cilantro lime ranch dressing. So the thing that we're gonna make today is tuna edamame salad. So we're gonna get a plate, we're gonna get our ingredients, we're gonna do the tuna, the edamame, and the cilantro lime ranch dressing. So pretty simple. We're gonna cook it in something that you would have in your office. So you would have a piece of Tupperware in your office probably. And we are gonna cook the edamame beans, and I'm just gonna dump them all in there. And I'm gonna cook them for 1.5 minutes. You might be thinking to yourself, is this really cooking? You're just kind of taking some canned tuna and a vegetable that doesn't really need to be cooked and mixing them together. But I think that part of cooking is knowing what different textures and flavors you can put together to actually make a meal. I'm gonna go ahead and open up the tuna while we're waiting on that edamame to cook. The nice thing about tuna is that obviously it's a protein. It's a relatively low-fat protein, and obviously it comes in canned form. So that means that you can keep it in your office and it will stay good for a while. It's not something that you just have to cook within 7 days, kind of like you do when you buy meat at the market. And then as far as our dressing that we have, this is the cilantro lime ranch dressing. It is a cream-based dressing. There are also vinaigrette-based dressings that I really, really like. But for this video, I wanted something that had both lime and cilantro in it because those flavors go in a lot of different types of cuisines, and I'm trying to make a variety of different cuisines. Tessemae is a brand of dressing that I really, really like. The reason that I like it is because when you look at the ingredients, you can actually pronounce all of the names of the ingredients that are in there. So they're ingredients that you would find out in your environment. And they also tend to have dressings that are sugar-free. That's kind of how dressings end up getting you and are not quite as healthy, is that they have a lot of sugar in them. So people kind of feel like, oh, it's a dressing, so it must be really, really healthy. So they'll put a whole bunch of dressing on their plate, and then they just end up putting a whole bunch of sugar in their meal. So the tuna I drained already. I'm just gonna add it. And I experimented already, and I know that I happen to like the tuna warmed up just a little bit. I'm only gonna warm it up for about 30 seconds because I don't want to make your house or your office stinky. I'm gonna measure out the dressing with a spoon, and I'm gonna do a spoonful, mix it up, see how I like that. That way, what some people end up doing with dressing is they'll just dump a whole bunch on there, and then they feel like they did too much. They don't quite love the taste of it, but they eat it anyways, and then they're kind of getting a whole bunch of extra calories in there. So I think this is pretty good, but I would do maybe another half of a spoonful. So that's what we'll do. Not quite a full spoonful. Mix it up. So yeah, again, if you had like a favorite vinaigrette that you like, you could definitely do the tuna and the edamame together. The reason that I'm doing the edamame mixed in with this, let me just warm this up for 30 seconds and then I'll tell you, keeping you in suspense. The reason that I'm doing the edamame with this is because if I did like just canned tuna by itself, to me that isn't very satisfying. That doesn't feel like a meal. That just feels like I kind of like shoved something in my mouth. but the different texture of the edamame beans just makes it a little bit more satisfying to me. So that way, hopefully at the end of this meal, I feel like I've actually eaten a meal, and an hour later, I'm not like rummaging through looking for chips or looking for something else. I know plenty of people who keep tuna at their office for a lunch, but they'll eat it with crackers, and crackers are very highly processed and not my favorite thing when you're trying to eat healthy. Edamame, frozen edamame, you can keep in your freezer for months. And so it's just a nice thing to have around that this is just a different way for you to mix and match some of the foods that you might already have in your house. So let's give it a taste, see what we think. I think it's pretty good.